We'll give it 30 seconds and we will start. Just warning you, I have my reformer out today. You're precariously perched on top of the reformer. So I think when I stand up, my top of my head will be cut off on my mat. But I'm sure we will manage today. It's just that I've precariously got you perched on top. Morning, Sue, well done. I know, isn't it nice? Really funny, actually. This is my partner's jumper. I found it yesterday and I thought, you know what, that fits me better than him. It's too tight on him now, so I thought, I'll nick it. I hope you guys are ready. Today we are going more traditional, so there's going to be no weights, no props. It is just going to be a mat class. We'll see how long the jumper lasts. It has gone a little. I've turned the heating off in here in hope that I can keep the jumper on all the time. But yeah, we're going to go completely traditional and see how we feel today. So, but you are going to get a good workout. You know what I'm like. So, okie dokie, we will get started again. Apologies if I chop the top of my head off. I don't mean to. Okie dokie. Come to the back of your mat. You can just about see if I crouch. You can just about see me. Come to the back of your mat, feet in your parallel position, same width as the cheekbones, and we're just going to settle into our mat. So I want the weight kind of on first and second toe. We're not lifting the heels up, but we've just shifted that weight forward slightly, and that just means everything's nice and activated. We're nice and settled in our mat. We're just going to take a second to close the eyes and just really get yourself situated on that mat. Make sure that you're feeling nice and relaxed. Maybe you've rushed to get here, maybe it's too early like it is for me. You just need a second to really connect to that Pilates breath, so really take a big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just one more, take a big breath in, big breath out, flutter the eyes open, and on the next inhale, lift the arms nice and high. Exhale over to one side, circle that arm for me. And then up and over to the other side, circle the other way. Coming back to the middle, start with your first roll down, chin down, pelvis under, slowly rolling down, one bone at a time. Weight is still in middle to front portion of that foot. It's just so we're not leaning back. Holding here, and then we're going to bend the knees, walk the hands out, coming onto all fours for me, and then from here we're just going to come into our cat and our cow. So we're going to exhale round the spine, pushing the shirt jumper up to the ceiling, and then inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift, and again exhale, we round. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. Last one, exhale, we round. Hold that angry cat, take a big breath into those ribs. Exhale, inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. Coming to our flat back option here, you could do your modified plank, so taking hands slightly further forward, legs slightly further back. Weight is still over the wrists, so that's option one. Option two, coming into your full hand plank for me and just rocking back and forth. If you're in your modified plank, just feel free to do a little rock back and forth, engaging those abdominal muscles. Think about drawing the bony part of your hips at the front just slightly closer to the ribs. Holding there, let's all lift and lower one leg. I'll go for right leg to begin. Lower other side. Lowering the feet down. If you're on your knees, you're going to push push into your rest position. If you're on your feet like me, you're going to push up and over into an elephant stretch, just giving the legs a little bit of a stretch out, tailbone to the ceiling. And then coming back onto all fours, pushing back into the rest position, lengthening the arms out, taking a nice big deep breath in and out. Perfect. And we're going to come back onto our all fours position now, just to do some of our bird dog exercises. So, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. From here we're going to take right leg back, left arm forward, inhale, lift. Exhale, tap down and replace, other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down and replace. Now we're aiming here not to go into the back. If you lose your connection in your abdominals, belly's going to go down, back's going to arch. We really want to think about keeping bony part of the hip just that little inch closer to the bottom rib, and that's just going to help us engage the muscle. It's just the imagery for you, not letting that pelvis kick out at the back. Just do one more on each side. And then again release. Just give that bottom a little bit of a wiggle, side to side for me. Okay. Option one, beginner. Maybe beginner intermediate, we're going to do our modified plank again if you want to. However, you're going to be in your plank one. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck the toes underneath, lift the knees up just a couple of inches. Big breaths in and out, holding nice and steady. If you're in your modified plank, feel free to follow with the foot movements. What we're going to do is see if we can lift one foot up nice and high. Other knee is still hovering off floor, lower, and then the other side. What we're trying to do is not lift the bottom. One more on each side. And releasing down, rest position again. Big breath in and out. And releasing all the way back up. We're going to come and sit on our bottom, and we're going to come and do some of our spine stretch. So we're going to have legs out in front. Now remember, I always say this, if you are tight in your hamstrings, please have a bend in the knee. I would rather you have that lovely little bend than have legs straight looking like Hunchback of Notre Dame because you can't sit up properly. So I'm going to have a tiny bend. It's quite cold in here this morning. Should have put the heating on. Arms in front. We're going to exhale, roll it forward as if you're trying to touch your hands to the wall in front. Inhale, we restack. Exhale, we push forward. Inhale, we restack. So we're aiming to go over the toes. Now I know for some people that's not going to be an option. Maybe you're here. That's perfectly fine. But we're aiming to go over the toes and not towards them because you're cutting yourself off short. We want to feel like we're lengthening forward. Restack. And do one more for me. Restacking back up, letting the arms come down. Just give that neck a little bit of a wiggle side to side, get everything nice and loose. And we're going to come down onto our back, onto our mat. Feet on the floor, knees bent. Ankles are underneath the knees. Imagining that pelvis is a clock. 6 o'clock belly button, 12 o'clock groin. We're going to exhale, push the back down to 6. Inhale, tilt up to 12. Exhale, we push down. Inhale, we tilt to 12. So this is just waking the pelvis up, waking the lower portion of the back up a little bit, but also it helps with finding our neutral spine. We're going to come halfway in between the two extremes, so you can still get a hand underneath the back. Feel the tailbone nice and heavy on the mat. From here we're going to do our bridges, our long pelvic curls, but I'm going to change it at the top slightly, just a little bit of a different way of me explaining things to you, and that's really going to get those glutes working. So we're going to exhale, push down to 6. Notice how the pelvis tilts towards you. Keep that little tilt as we slowly roll all the way up. Keep that tilt. Try not to let the bum relax down. Keep it tucked under. Feel how the glutes are working. Notice how the rib cage stays down. Sometimes we get to the top and we push the rib cage open. We don't want that. Inhale at the top. Exhale, slowly rolling down. It's only as the pelvis hits the mat that we release back into neutral. Inhale. Exhale, back pushes down. We slowly roll up. We're tilting that pelvis. Keeping it glutes activated. Hold at the top. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly rolling down. Inhale to neutral. Keep that going for me. Option here. Intermediate, more advanced, we could lift the arms up to the ceiling. We're taking that point of stability away. And remember, just because you usually lift the arms up doesn't mean that maybe your body feels like it today. So just listen to your body. Listen to what it wants you to do. Maybe you're thinking, Chloe, this still seems a little bit easy for me. Then you can take the arms slightly back, 45 degrees behind. That is the harder version of this, because we're using the muscles but that we're also stretching them. We're going to hold at the top. We're keeping that little tuck. Option for the legs to come, the arms to come down. We can either lift and lower the right heel, maybe lift and lower into tabletop. Option for the leg to be lengthened. And we can inhale and exhale. Your choice. Hands could be up to the ceiling. They could be slightly behind, as long as you promise me to keep that pelvis lifted. Hold, foot up, knee or lengthen, little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put the ankle on top of the other thigh. We're not letting the hips drop down. We're going to slowly roll down just until the back of the pelvis hits the mat, and then we're going to come all the way back up. So exhale. Inhale, exhale, back up. And again. Last one, holding, replace the foot. Keep lifted for me. Just get yourself situated back on that mat so you know the pelvis is level. Other side. Lift and lower heel. Tabletop lengthened, your choice. Pelvis still curled. We're still lifted. Glute working on that standing leg. Keep heel lifted, tabletop lengthened, little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold on 1, ankle comes onto the thigh. We roll down, exhale. Pelvis hits the mat, inhale, exhale, curl back up. Inhale, exhale, roll down. Inhale, exhale, roll up. Last one, rolling down. Rolling up. Hold at the top. Hold, hold, hold. And if we can, I'm testing you today, we're going to see if we could exhale, lift the heels high. Inhale, replace. Exhale, lift. Inhale, replace. Calf muscles working. Exhale, inhale. I can see that I've dropped my pelvis, so I'm going to recurl. Hold the heels up if you can, little pulses up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly roll down, heels still lifted. Replace the arms. Oof, my arms are getting heavy by the end of that. Just giving a nice little roll side to side. Perfect, we're going to come into some of our tummy work. We are going to try and bang out a series of 5 with no breaks. Now obviously if you do need a break, please take it. And you can take any of the variations, any options during this class. I'll get you set up for everything. But if you do need to take a break, you start to feel it in the back of the neck, just lie down, take a few breaths and come and join back in. So we're going to do our single leg stretch first. Make sure pelvis is nice and neutral, so tailbone heavy on the mat. A lot of people will hug the right leg in or the left leg, whichever you choose, and then tilt the pelvis up towards them by really forcing the back down. We want to just lift the leg. Notice how the back naturally goes down, but tailbone is still heavy. Just give that leg a little bit of a hug. Notice it won't hug in too far. Left leg could be to the ceiling. It could be 45. Option, head and shoulders can lift, but no tension in that neck. And we're going to begin. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now in a neutral pelvis, you'll notice that it's actually a little bit easier for some, if your abdominals are strong, to lower the leg a bit more. I have no problem 45 or just under, but please avoid taking it too low if you can. Keep that going. Inhale, exhale. Last one each side. We're going to hug both knees in. Inhale, take both out. Exhale, hug back in. Option, obviously, legs to go to ceiling. More advanced arms can come back. Legs are glued together. Shoulders stay lifted. Just do 2 more. Last one, hugging in, lengthening right leg up. Maybe it needs to be bent, maybe you need to grab behind the thigh. Other leg, 45, just off the floor. Grab higher if you want. You're going to exhale, exhale, pull back. Inhale, switch legs slow. Exhale, exhale, pull back. Inhale. Inhale. By taking that inhale on the switch of the legs, we're slowing it down. I want you to get a nice lungful of air here. As Joseph used to say, we don't breathe enough, we don't breathe properly. Last one each side. Glue the legs together at the top. Interlink the fingers behind the base of the skull. Push the head back slightly. Elbows in peripheral vision. We're going to inhale, lower the legs just a couple of inches. Exhale, back up. Now this is where neutral pelvis is hard, because as you bring the legs back up, you're going to want to tilt the pelvis towards you. Don't let it. Just come to straight, where you can keep that pelvis, the tailbone, heavy on the mat. And this is where you're going to really get some work into the lower abdominals. And there's no need to take the legs too far down. Just one more. And then we've got one exercise left. Legs in tabletop. We're going to inhale, lift over to the left, right leg goes out. Exhale, middle. Inhale, other side. Exhale, middle, crisscross. Really using that Pilates breath. I've got a great little finale for you here. Last one on each side. Hold in the centre. If you need to reset, please do. Arms down by the side. Start to take that pulse. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale. Exhale. Can we lift the legs high? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Can we drop one leg? 45. Inhale. Take the option best for you. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, switch legs. Inhale. Exhale. and release. Whew. I can definitely feel my tummy. Legs come down, just take the arms over for a second. Lengthen those legs away. Get a nice stretch through the abdominals. Perfect. And we're going to come into some of our side leg series. We're going to do our modified side legs today, so we're going to do forearm. Okie dokie, let me just check the time. Are we okay? We are perfectly fine for time. So we're going to come down onto the forearm. I don't mind which side you do first. The one thing I want you to remember is this. Elbow is slightly out from underneath the crease of the arm. If it's too close underneath, we're going to put pressure into that shoulder. Second thing, have we rounded the shoulder forward because we're feeling weak in our rotator cuff in our shoulder? If so, think chest proud facing forward, and we're not watching Netflix. We haven't sunk into the shoulder. We are lifted. Use those abdominals. I know they're tired. Beginner, bottom leg bent, knee at the front of the mat, foot near the bottom. More intermediate advanced, we can take it to the front corner of the mat. Top leg nice and long, pelvis stack. We want to make sure we set up properly. There's no point rushing it and then getting it wrong. We're going to lift and lower the top leg. If, like me, you tend to hyperextend through your joints, you're going to make sure that you haven't overstraightened the leg. A teeny weeny bend is fine and preferable. Top arm can be on the mat for support. Maybe it's on your waist. I don't mind. We're just lifting and lowering. Hold at the top. Let's do a little circle. And circle the other way. Hold, leg in line with the top hip. Flex the foot. We're coming forward for 2. Inhale, back corner of the mat. Notice how I have an arch in my back. It's my glute that's taking it there. Inhale. Trying your best to keep the body quiet. Even I struggle with that. It does rock slightly. So though being on the forearm isn't that traditional, we're going to do the traditional side legs. Top leg on bottom leg, feet and knees together. Bend the knees, feet in line with the bottom. We're going to open and close the top knee in our clam. I say traditional side legs, I might throw something in, you know what I'm like. Most of it will be the traditional ones. Keep the knees down, pivot slightly so both feet lift up. We're going to rock piece a little bit. Open the knee, extend the leg, foot down, knee down. Open, extend, foot, knee. If you've done my classes before, you know what's coming. Open, extend and hold, little circle. 5, 4, 3, 2, reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet down, extend them long on the mat. Just slightly in front of the body. And then what we're going to do is take that top leg and just slide it back so you've got a nice big V. Now it's not going to look like I'm moving much, but I promise I am. Keeping waistline lifted, we're going to exhale, lift both legs up. Inhale, replace. Really exhaling to get those legs up. We're going to do 4, 3, 2, hold up on 1. We're going to swim one leg forward, one leg back. Legs are straight. And release. Perfect. Give the bottom a little bit of a tap. You may have felt that more in what we call the love handle part of the body, and that's just because we're lifted. So we're going to go onto the other side. Oof, I can feel this today. So elbow is slightly out. I am lifted, I haven't sunken down. Bottom leg could be bent, it could be lengthened to the front corner. Top leg long, lift and lower. We know what's coming now. We make sure pelvis is stacked. This is my Gumby side. You know what I'm like on this side, I wobble a little bit. So I may choose to keep my hand down. And I always test the water. So if you always keep your hand down, test the water, just lift it for a second. Just challenge the body and then you can always bring it straight back down. Hold at the top and circle. Circle the other way. Hold the leg long in line with the top hip, flex the foot. We're coming forward twice. Inhale, back corner. Inhale, back corner. Just give me one more. Top leg, bottom leg, feet and knees together. Knees at the front of the mat, feet near the bottom, open and close for that clamp. Mindful we're not tilting the pelvis open. It's very easy to just open the body without realising it. We're keeping stacked, keeping lifted. Knees together, pivot, both feet lift. We open the knee, extend the leg. Foot comes down, then knee. Open, extend, foot, knee. Open, extend, foot, knee. One more. Open, extend and hold, little circle. 5, 4, 3, 2, reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet down, knees down, lengthen the legs slightly in front of the body. Top leg goes back. We're lifting and lowering for 8, 7, 6, 4, and 2. Last one, hold, swim the legs. And release. Give it a tap. Come and turn onto your tummy. We're going to have our hands in line with the head. Forehead down. I'll keep mine lifted so you can hear me. And if you want to, you can have them slightly further underneath the shoulders. That's totally up to you. From here, we're going to imagine we're pulling back on the mat ever so slightly just to keep those shoulders in shoulder sockets, toes pointing back. We're going to inhale, lift head and chest. Exhale, lower. Now here's where I want you to really think about pushing the pubic bone into the mat. Obviously that's opposite to the tailbone, and that's because when we're on our tummy, very similar to when we're on our back, the pelvis tilts the opposite way when we're not thinking about it. So we need pubic bone pushed down so that we don't just jam into the lower back. If you want to, you can lift the hands off, squeeze, elbows behind, and relax a second, giving that back a little bit of a wiggle side to side for me. We're now going to introduce the legs as well. So you can either keep the hands down, maybe you just want to do the upper body, that's fine. But what we're going to try and do is lift one leg at the same time, switching each time. If the pubic bone is nice and heavy in the mat, your leg won't lift too high. One more each side. And release. Hands come down. We're going to pull back on those hands slightly. We're going to inhale, lift onto forearms, possibly pushing into the hands. And then exhale, still pulling on those hands lower down. And again, inhale, we lift. This time on the exhale, maybe lifting our left leg, a little bit of swan prep. Inhale, leg comes down, body lifts. We'll try right leg. Inhale, we lift. Option to try both. Relaxing the legs down. We're going to bring the forearms in front of us using the head as a pillow. And we're going to do a little bit more on those legs for a second in our bum. So we're going to bend the knees, heels come together, toes apart, knees slightly wider on the mat. Now this is where I really need you to push your tailbone down, because the aim here is to lift the knees up off the mat just a little bit. Problem, if you haven't pushed your tailbone down, and like me you're quite loose at the bottom of the back, there is a chance you're going to go completely into the lower back and it defeats the object of the exercise. So push the tailbone down, and we're going to exhale, lift the knees, inhale, drop. It's like you're trying to touch the ceiling with the heel of the foot. Harder, having the feet closer to the bottom. That's when you're really going to feel those hamstrings engage as we lift. Aim to keep the upper body quiet where we can. Holding the legs up, little clicks if we can, tiny little clicks. Now this is too much for your back. Just go back to lifting one leg at a time with the upper body, the previous exercise. If we can, lengthen the legs, keeping the thighs lifted, back the legs together. Hold, keep them to each corner of the mat. We're going to flex the feet, bring both legs in, point, take them out. In, we're in parallel now, so the heels aren't touching. For 5, 4, thighs still lifted, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, giving that back a little bit of a wiggle. Perfect. Okie dokie, from here we're going to come and stretch out a little bit. I will be doing a pigeon stretch, but if you're not happy with that, you're going to come and do your figure 4 position. Figure 4, I'll quickly show you, is where you're on your back and the opposite ankle goes on the opposite thigh, maybe stopping there, maybe you're lifting leg into tabletop. So when we come to do our pigeon position, if you're not comfortable with it, or you begin to try it and think, not for me today, that's where you're going to go. Okie dokie, coming on to the knees. We're going to take our right leg forward, squeeze into the glutes, make sure as you lean forward you haven't gone into the back. And the best way to do this is come 60% of the way. Don't try and go too far. Though coming all the way down here looks fancy, we're really not doing a lot. Turn pelvis under. Hopefully you can feel the stretch down the quad. If, like me, you're quite flexible and you can't, feel free to take your left hand and try and grab your left foot, giving it a little pull towards the bottom. And that should intensify that stretch down the quad. From there, lower the foot down, lean forward so both hands come down. If that isn't an option, just stay in the previous position. Back knee can stay lowered, or you can turn the toes underneath, lift that knee nice and high. Left hand down, right arm lifts up. Bringing the hand back down, knee comes down, take the bottom back so it's directly over that back knee. Lengthen the right leg. Now maybe this is enough for you, maybe you're happy here. We're going to increase the crease on the front leg, and that just means our pelvis is facing nice and forward, and then we have the option of coming down slightly just to get that nice stretch down the quad, pointing toes up to the ceiling, and hopefully feeling a lovely stretch. If you want to do your figure 4 position, now is your time. You'll lie on your back and put your right ankle on the left thigh, hugging left leg in if you can. If you like the pigeon, you're going to bend the right knee, 90-degree angle, take it over in front of the left knee, about 2 fist distance is fine. Walk the hands forward, knee comes behind the right wrist, left leg extends, pelvis is facing forward, we haven't dropped onto the right hip. And just taking some nice deep breaths. If you want to come onto the forearms, feel free. We're not going to be here for too long. And release. Coming back onto the knees, we're going to do the other side. Left leg forward 60% of the way. Make sure we are using the glutes if we can. Knee over ankle, pelvis tucked under at the back. Can't feel a stretch on that back quad. We're going to lift the right foot up towards the bottom and give it a little bit of a pull in. Hopefully starting to feel a little bit of a stretch. Release, hands come down. We're now in more of our traditional runner's lunge. Knee can stay down, or alternatively tuck the toes under at the back. Lift the knee nice and high. Right hand down, left arm reaches. We'll take a little look up. Hands down, knee down, push the bottom back. Maybe you're lifted, just make sure that you pull the hip back slightly. Gently coming down. Holding, nice big deep breath in and out. And again, here's your time for your figure 4 if you want it, lying on the back, left ankle on right thigh, hooking right leg in. Alternatively, bending the left knee, taking it over in front of the right leg, about 2 fist distance, walking the knee forward, and then we're in our lovely pigeon position, feeling that nice stretch down the back of the leg into the piriformis. And just hold for a few more seconds. Perfect. Now if you can, just collapse onto the bum cheek for me. Bring both legs back round to the front. We're just going to do a quick spine stretch. So what we're going to do is actually have the feet together, knees apart. Now, if you find this really difficult and your feet are on the floor, that also works perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. All we're going to do is take the right hand and put it on the left thigh. And then we're going to take the left hand, twist gently round to the left. Big breath in and out. Gently coming back to middle. Same on the other side. Left hand, right thigh. Inhale, we twist. Exhale, we come back to middle. Maybe just holding here. Maybe you'd like to just fold forward slightly, getting a little bit more of an inner thigh stretch. Option here to sit shin to shin, or if you can't do that, just have your knees in front of you, whatever feels best for you. We're going to put the left hand down, take the right arm over, like you were aiming to the front corner of the mat. Up over to the other side. Really pushing the opposite bum cheek down. From there, coming onto your hands and knees. I just keep my legs crossed and come over, but I don't mind how you do it. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Exhale, we round, pushing the shirt up to the ceiling. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. One more, exhale, we round. Inhale, belly down, head and bottom lift. Coming into your flat back, we're going to do an elephant stretch. If you're not happy with that, stay in your rest position, so just pushing your bottom down. We're going to take one leg back, then the other, lift pelvis nice and high, tailbone up to the ceiling. Keep a nice generous bend in those knees to begin. Imagine you're trying to get your tummy onto your thighs. And then from there, just pedaling the legs one at a time. If feeling flexible, feel free to push both down. We're just getting that lovely nice stretch down the backs of the legs. Rising up onto the toes, slowly curling over, knees down, pushing into that rest position, just holding here, pushing the hands into the mat. Nice big deep breath in and out. Then gently, just walking the hands back in towards the feet, coming to sit on the heels, and you are done. Thank you so much for joining me for my last class. This is my last class for 2020. And I'm happy I spent it with you guys. I will be back in the new year. Who knows, maybe back in the studio, maybe not. But regardless, I look forward to seeing you. Feel free to ask me any questions on the comments or anything like that, and I'm happy to answer. And I hope you all have a safe and brilliant Christmas. I know it won't be the same, but if it's any consolation, I'm going to be at home in my pyjamas eating Terry's chocolate orange because I'm not leaving the house if I can help it. So the first year I won't be getting dressed up. So have a great day. Mwah!